Hey, what's going on, guys? Today on Minute Man Preparedness, we're going to be doing a little quick tip, and it's on cooking, survival cooking, urban cooking. You're going to learn how to turn just a simple old soup can, Chef Boyardee can, into a pretty effective stove. It's called a Hobo stove. There's a lot of different variations, but we're going to go over this one, and that'll be coming up next here on Minute Man Preparedness. All right, guys, so welcome back to Minute Man Preparedness. So like I said in the intro, we're going to be talking about little homemade cooking stove, what's commonly referred to as a hobo stove. Now, you can do these with different size cans, the number 10 cans, the large ones, and, your standard soup can, Chef Boyardee can, whatever. You find these in the ditch in the country, laying in the curb, in the city. So it's a pretty effective method of cooking and being able to kind of keep that flame contained and that heat shooting up. But this one's made pretty crude, and it's pretty crude because I did everything with the multi-tool. Now, if you set several of these up and put them in your bug out bags, you can go to your workshop, use a drill, a file, sand everything down, make them really nice looking. But there's a plethora of methods to making these things. Some people will do the cook surface up top and have the entry point for the fuel at the bottom. Some like doing them like this. That way you can fill it up with fuel, get the fire going, and then through here in the little ramp, you can put your fuel in there to keep it going. You've got holes at 2 different levels so you can get some oxygen flowing through there. Some people, will cut the whole side out. That way you have a larger area. Some will put more holes down here. It's really just kind of on what you want to do, the time you have, and how fast you need to get this done. This took me about 5 minutes standing in my kitchen to get this prepared. So it's kind of what you want to do, the time you have, and the tools you have at your disposal. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing going and come back in just a second. All right, guys. Well, I went ahead and got it lit. Wanted to save some time. Went ahead and got the water boiling. Took me a minute because it's been a little windy here today, and the wind's coming from everywhere, so it's kind of whipping my flame around. But I'm going to go ahead and bend you over here with the camera and let you see what's going on here. So it's nothing super fancy. As we can see, we got some smoke coming off here because I am using some debris that is just up under the tree here. So some of it is a tad wet, but it still works. A lot of it's dry, but we are throwing a little bit more smoke than what I'd like. But the water is boiling. We got some steam coming in here. It's bubbling up in there. Now, it's not like, whenever you're cooking on your stove at home, it's not going to be bubbling and overflowing. Well, this one isn't, but it's still super hot enough to make a drink, make some coffee, make some ramen, some real simple stuff like that. But mind you, the smoke is all going to be dependent upon your fuel source. So if you're using things that have a little bit more water in them, they may be a tad green still, you may get a little bit more smoke, but if you're in that urban environment, you may be using, a paper bag that you find, your cigarette butts, just all types of random objects to get this going. Now, of course, you don't want to throw too much smoke because that will let people kind of know where you are, and especially when you start cooking some food, they could smell it. So you always want to be cognizant of those things, your smoke and the scent of the food that you're cooking. But this little item here, I hadn't really messed around with these too much, to be quite honest. I decided to give it a try, and I do think one thing I would do better is whenever you're making the holes in these right here, make the holes a little bit bigger, and I would probably drop the holes down just a little bit more so you can get a little bit more ventilation kind of up through the bottom. But it's all a learning experience. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm here to do, learn and try to give a little bit of knowledge as I go. But give it a try at home. Take you 5 minutes to make one. But with that, you all stay safe. Have a great day. And Minute Man is out.